grief. I don't know if it actually hooked up or not. I may have turned it off. But I had what it does if you don't change that, it puts up like was actually set for last week's podcast description, so people would be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
They don't know.
They probably don't know what we're talking about, anyways.
Kids,
I mean,
try this at home.
But dude, this Iceman is really fucking cool.
Yeah. What finish?
It's a kind of like burst, kind of.
Oh,
yeah, it's really neat. But it's Muga bucks.
Of course it is. It's an original.
What's Muga?
Yeah. Muga Gooba. Muga Gooba with the green teeth.
It's like $55.
I'm gonna have to go on Rock Rage.
Come on, Inner Circle. Don't give me no shit, dude. Come on.
Don't give with the sheet. Son of beach sheet.
We're waiting for the Inner Circle to connect. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to come back in a second. Everybody, just chill.
Just chill out.
Everybody, chill out tonight. Everybody, chill out tonight.
It's like stereo.
Celebrity voice impersonated. What is
Sorry, you don't sound like the Wang Chung guys.
Wang Chung. Oh, thank you.
Just saying.
Wang Chung.
There we are, but
Okay,
we're not.
everybody sit tight.
Hold on now, people.
I have to remove this and redo it. Just a second. Everybody calm
Put it back
down.
on. Hey,
Give us a minute.
simmer down now.
This is where I need that sound bite.
Uh-huh.
Experiencing technical difficulty. So let me just do this. I need to go.
We should get like a little card. Just hold up to the camera during this band.
It's coming, kids. Just chill out.
What was that? Oh Lord, you gonna do that in the panel? Yeah, I hope so.
I might.
Yeah.
I might.
Are you getting made up? Are you gonna be in some sort of costume?
I'll be making myself up.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Nah, I played myself in the movie, so.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I'm a little slow.
I'll be Lily.
I'm a little.
How's
slow.
everybody doing out there?
It was a
We are having just we need to set something up here. Something went haywire. So give us a second, guys.
Something went wrong.
Nothing ever goes wrong here.
It's all right. It's all working out. You're gonna love it. Okay.
You're gonna love
I
it.
did buy a dress, though.
Did you?
That's it.
A dress.
A dress.
Lily bought a dress.
Lily bought a dress.
Oh my god.
She's
It's
gonna
everything
wear.
is sold.
Lily bought a dress. It still doesn't want to connect. Oh no, it's gonna. Okay.
All right.
Everybody's up and running. YouTube, Facebook, Rock Rage Radio, Inner Circle, and
Doggy.
Twitch.
Twitch.
I don't even know what that is. But
I know, but it's
The
you
kids
know,
love it.
The kids love it.
The
The
kids love it.
children's. All
yes,
the little
because
baby
we all know I
childs.
care about them.
Bastards.
Okay, is everybody ready to talk about some really cool
Stuffs.
Cool.
Shite.
Yeah, baby. We're going to get high, and we're going to lie here tonight, and you're going to eat the pudding.
I'll have what he's having.
Oh, the pudding?
Eat the pudding.
Have a drink.
Have a drink, eat the pudding.
Have a little bit of a drink. Attaboy, Lou. Down the hatch. Rudy, where's my sweater?
Are you
That is
fading
great.
out?
Give us the
chocolate
chocolate cake. Okay,
feel
you guys
yourself
ready for
fading
some,
away?
who's ready for some chocolate cake tonight? I'm ready for some chocolate cake.
Okay.
I hope you guys are ready for some chocolate cake, because chocolate cake is just a small portion of what you are about to experience here on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
I was not told there was cake.
So we are just getting things kind of squared away. We had a little hiccup, but we have that straightened out now for all y'all. And I think we're about ready to do something. We've got, okay. You guys ready to talk about some great albums?
Yeah.
All right. That's probably, they can hear this, too.
Oh God, don't.
Our
take it
greatest
away.
fan. Oh.
I would love to have that on, because it is stuffy, but it'll sound like we're in a wind
The
tunnel.
fan in the other room. Is that okay?
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Okay, nobody can hear your microphone anyway, so. All right.
No, don't even.
I have an entire bag of with your name on it. Okay. You get your hiss. You have your hiss ready? Lily's hiss is ready. Okay. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, we're going to tell you all about the stories behind 10 albums that are essentially perfect, meaning that you can listen to the whole thing and not have to skip any tracks. You know, it's not annoying. Well, these records, you just put them on, and you just chill, and you can just hear one great song after another. And some of these, many of them, actually were chosen by you. All that, and we're going to also announce the winner of our Led Zeppelin box set giveaway. So stick around. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Moms and dads, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I am your ring master, your master of ceremonies. There will be no ceremonies. Well, there is going to be a little human sacrifice at the end, but we'll talk about that later. We have Pittsburgh Kevin.
What's up, everybody?
We got Pittsburgh Kevin.
Speaking of the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's why I got scared.
And we have Lily V6 from Rock Rage Radio.
What's up?
Speaking of Rock Rage Radio, we have been a part of the Rock Rage Radio family for a couple of years now. Thank you, John and Gigi. You guys are awesome. But what is Rock Rage Radio? It is one of these great internet radio stations. It is actually the best internet radio station, if you don't mind me saying, where you can listen to great guitar-driven rock, 24/7 rock, heavy metal, all kind of really cool stuff is going on there. Bands you never heard of, plus many that you actually love. Great shows like Hot Licks with Lily V6, the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, and a bunch of others. So check it out. Go to rockrageradio.com, download the app, and then you can just, chill out, listen to it. It's totally free on your earbuds, or stream it with your Bluetooth into your car, whatever you want to do. No need to pay for Sirius. You can just get Rock Rage. So check it out. Shout out to Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online. Get yourself custom paint job on your musical instrument. wolfscustoms.online. Shout out to Chris Thunderwolf Dodson. We're going to have to get you to sit in again, buddy. It's been a while. It's been too long, my friend. So let's get you in here soon. So go to wolfscustoms.online. LouLombardimusic.com for some cool free downloads. You want to read the story about my latest single that we've been playing here at the end of the show each week. There's the whole story about how the song was written and what it was all about. And LouLombardimusic.com. That is LouLombardimusic.com, as well as LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com to find out stuff about back episodes, how you can get show notes, tons of merch and everything. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Brand new website. We're really excited about it. And I want to give a shout out to my brother from another mother, Keith the Hawk Hawkins. He's on a little bit of a hiatus. He's going to be a little in and out because of some stuff going on in his personal life. He's going to give it the old in and out, but he'll be putting it back in very soon. Right now he's on the out,
Yes.
but he's going to put it back in. And I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys get lubed up for when Hawk comes back. Okay?
Yes.
So, all right, guys, we are getting into this great topic tonight. This was inspired by a Facebook post that we ran saying, hey, can you name an album that, is essentially perfect? And you guys named a crap ton of albums.
Ooh.
And some of which I was like, dang.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about Fire of Unknown Origin by Blue Oyster Cult. That is a great album. Great album. Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, which actually is on my list we might talk about later.
Nice.
Just so many really cool ones. There's the ones you absolutely expected. We knew somebody was going to say Sgt. Pepper's, right?
I mean, legit.
Right. Somebody's going to say Sgt. Pepper's. We knew people were going to talk about Dark Side of the Moon. Of course, those are Greg Holt said Sgt. Pepper's. A few other people said Dark Side of the Moon. Some of you guys gave us some albums that we weren't aren't that familiar with. For instance, Greg Bickerstaff said, here's an obscure one, Strength by Enough's Enough.
Whoa.
I didn't even think of that.
There you
Okay,
go.
but apparently Lily knows it. She
Yeah.
likes it. So that's very, very cool. Debbie Schratz, who I went to high school with, Debbie and I graduated same year in high school, was one of the people that said Dark Side of the Moon. Here's one that, like Jackie Day said, that I was like, this is definitely one of those albums, is L.A. Woman by The Doors. Absolutely. Boom, boom, boom. Just listen to one song after another. My old buddy, bass player friend JT, Mothership Connection by Parliament.
Oh, I would not have thought of that.
That's a good one. My Gene Fetty put in one of my personal favorite albums by Pink Floyd, not Dark Side of the Moon, with nothing against Dark Side of the Moon, but it's not that album, but it's the Division Bell. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a totally listenable album. Like, you could go song, 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 just be like chilling out. Don't have to change anything. So we hit some Sabbath heads out there. Jim Dofka likes Heaven and Hell by Sabbath. Somebody mentioned one of the Dio albums. Somebody mentioned Mob Rules. And I'm going to go back and see who said that as well. Tim Amar, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of these tonight. Bill Thomas, Social Distortion, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell.
I don't know enough on that album to
Yeah,
pick
but
that. But yes, I understand.
It's so cool that and you guys love so much music. My old buddy Jeff Mazzy says Allman Brothers Live at the Fillmore. Of course, the rock station here in Pittsburgh, WDVE, would play that album, like the whole side, and not just on an album side weekend. They would just play it because it's like
Right.
great. You know, you could just put that on and go, hey, this is killer. You know, hear those guys jam like that. Absolutely amazing. So, really excited to talk about this topic tonight. We have picked some of our own where we have some, going to give you guys some background and things like that about it. So, let's get started. And we don't normally do this, but we are going to start with Pittsburgh Kevin.
Shut up.
Shut the front door.
Slam.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, you did. All right. Well, I'm learning. I'm learning to do research, folks.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. All right, so my first pick is Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
I hate you.
Sorry, Lily. Lily, if you want to
This
punish
is an
me
awesome
later.
pick. Guys,
Go ahead.
this is an
You can-
awesome pick.
No,
and you're
well, we
absolutely
can
right.
chime in. We can do it together.
Do your thing.
Do your
I'm gonna
thing.
I'm gonna do my
Give it
thing.
to
All
me,
right.
baby. Give
So-
it to me, baby.
Oh, my God.
That'd be cool if we were in stereo. You're in one ear, I'm in the other. And
In
Lily's
one ear
right
and
in the
Trust
middle.
me, you are in stereo.
Lily is right in the middle. So sorry, Lily. All right, so Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. It was the 11th studio album released by Fleetwood Mac, released February 4th, 1977. Unfortunately, there was a lot of hard partying going on by the band members. Yes, right?
Rock bands don't party,
was
right, Lily? You never
shocked.
heard of that, right?
I was
Sure.
shocked.
They never party. These are nice
Shocked.
boys that go to church.
And ladies.
Yeah. And ladies, sure. The women
Lady
folk.
boys.
And probably Lady
Lady
Boys.
boys. There's a band named the Lady Boys.
It's
Go ahead.
probably a thing.
Asian
that has to be a
man.
band.
What? Where, okay.
Secret Asian man, yes.
Yes. But anyway. But due to the hard partying, it was actually delayed. Its completion was actually delayed throughout the...
you keep talking about getting laid. What are you talking about?
no,
over there?
delayed.
Oh, okay.
Yo,
Like they kept
delayed.
getting laid and they couldn't get the record done. Okay.
I mean,
So it was a real big delay in the recording of it and the mixing down process. But I didn't know this. It won Album of the Year for the Grammys.
Yeah.
1977. Yes.
Of course it did.
Can you
That doesn't-
believe
what
that?
year- for what year again?
1977.
77.
Yes, I was. Anyway,
I was 10 years old.
I was 12 years old. Look at me.
Seto.
Actually, I was 11 at this point. That's all right.
I was not born.
So, a really favorite song of mine is Silver Springs. However, it was cut. See, Lily knows because
Sucked.
Because kids-
That song sucks balls. I'm kidding. What song?
what?
Wow.
You
You
don't
didn't even hear what song.
I'm
Yo,
kidding.
man, you don't know what you're talking about Go Your Own Way. Anyway,
Yeah, Silver Spring. Go ahead.
all right, so Silver Springs. Because kids, listen to this. Back in the day, there was only a limited amount of space on these things called records.
What?
Records, yes. Yeah, they're big vinyl, black vinyl things, and there's grooves in them, and there's only so much time.
What?
on-
Well, how much?
Why are you asking me this?
Okay, I didn't know.
Why
I
you?
figured since you brought it up, maybe you would know. I'm
No.
sorry. I was trying to put
He
you on the
does.
spot,
Just so
Pittsburgh
you know,
guys.
he does this.
Yeah.
He asks these
Apparently-
obscure questions.
The reason I have this podcast is because I'm insanely curious. I love talking about the topics. Good.
Apparently not enough to fit a 3-minute 50-second song on it, right?
Right.
So they actually had to cut the song from the album. But in 2004, Rumors was remastered and they added it. You know why, kids? Because it was on CD at that point, and they could put a lot more material on there. So there you go.
As we all know.
Yes. So Buckingham, McVeigh, and Nix worked individually on most of the songs. However, the song "The Chain" is the only song on the album which all members collaborated on. And I think what makes, and everybody probably knows this story by now, what makes this album so good is the emotion went behind it, because most of the songs reflect the internal personal struggles of the couples in the band at the time. Buckingham and Nix were breaking up. John and Christine McVie were breaking up.
Let's just say they were all doing each other.
And they were all doing each other.
And Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks fell in love with each other in the middle of the whole thing. But they were like, this band's been through too much. We can't do this.
Yeah, that's it. So I think that reflects in the songwriting and the passion behind it. And
He's like, Stevie, as good of a piece of ass as you are, look, man, my band's more important. That I respect. Here's to Mick Fleetwood. Yes to Mick frickin' Fleetwood.
Basically, this album was a critic's wet dream. They got perfect scores.
Speak for yourself.
By
I do
over...
not have wet dreams. I do not engage in that sort of behavior.
Right. Anyway, this is the one of the only albums with a perfect score from nearly every critic out there, and it is a softer rock album, but it does rock. Yes, it does rock justice. So yay.
No. Go Your Own Way is a hard rockin' tune.
It's a good. It's one of their most rockin' tunes. The Chain that's a great riff too.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
actually two different songs that they could not finish, so they actually brought the two songs together.
That is John McVie really kind of shines at the end of that, and I know that him and Lindsay clashed when Lindsay first joined the band, because John is kind of a busier kind of bass player, and Lindsay was like, he wanted it played like more straight. But, that's the great thing about being in a band is you don't get your own way all the time.
Don't.
And you know what? Very often the music is better because of that. It's good to have that other, if you want your own way the whole time, go do a solo album.
Exactly.
Lily V6, so what do you have, my dear?
I have Pump.
What?
Oh.
Yes.
Whoa.
10th studio album by American heavy metal band Aerosmith. I did not pick Rocks or Toys in the Attic because there are quite a few songs I could actually skip on both of those. Yes. There are a couple songs on Rocks I like, but not all of them, so I can skip some of those songs. So this is why I picked Pump, because I can listen to it the whole way through. It peaked at number 5 in the U.S. and was certified septuple platinum in 1995.
Wow.
That's like a whole lot of something, isn't it?
It is. There's
There's
a whole bunch there.
Let's count on that.
Yeah, a whole
Seven-
bunch.
I think everybody in my hometown.
Yeah.
I have 2 copies of it.
Well,
Anyway.
some of them had
See, here's
two.
the problem. Here's why.
I ruined the first copy.
They're loading the deck by having people like Lily buy
Right.
2 copies.
Come on
They
now.
probably didn't sell that many records.
I ruined the first one because I played it too much. It was a variety of successes and firsts from the band, including their first Grammy Award. Love in an Elevator became the first Aerosmith song to hit number 1 on mainstream rock. The album was the 4th best-selling album of the year in 1990. And then there was a video documentary on the recording, which I do have on VHS somewhere, and I will probably never watch it because I don't have a VCR. It was released in 1990 as well. At a time when young guys from like Motley Crue and Poison were doing their like best to hoist the heavy metal crown, these guys took away heavy metal album of the year. So, and they were older, much older. So that was awesome. I love everything about this album, including the transition tracks that get you into the next song, as well as the addition of the non-traditional instruments, such as the dulcimer and the didgeridoo used by Randy Reusch in different ways. And it's different, and it's fun, and it's catchy. And I love all the songs. All of them.
Every single one.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, it is.
That's a freaking.
I
great
love that
thing.
album
You're
so
absolutely
much.
right. It's so funny. Like it, they did all those great records, and then they really exploded. They had like a total resurgence. At that, it was what year was that again?
89.
89. So late 80s. They had this
Yeah.
giant resurgence with these 3 records that all came out that like got them back. And
Back in the
they
saddle.
still became really. They stayed really big, and they had to get off drugs. Like that was the problem.
Yeah, or they wouldn't find
Yeah.
success again because
Yeah.
that's what drove him down. So
Jerry Romeo said every Beatle album. That's a good one. And
I do expect that from him.
And my very good friend Dr. Jody for Lizzie, her and I are gonna try to go for a drink this weekend. She has "Pleased to Meet Me" by the Replacements.
Oh,
That's
There
Jim
you go.
Dickinson.
yes.
That's a famous record that he produced. But you guys are great, man. I'm really appreciating it. And I think we have some watchers. You want us to give quick yell outs, Miss Lilith?
We have Tracy Sampson and Bob Malte, and I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Tracy. Great to have you guys. I'm sure some folks are watching on Rock Rage Radio. And I know Pittsburgh Kevin is watching on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
He's the only one, right?
I'm not narcissistic at all. And I'm not even on screen. That's how bad it is.
Okay, I am going to pick one of my favorite albums of all time. And you were talking about wearing out a copy of an album,
Is
right?
this yours?
And I wore this. I'm on my 3rd CD of this. My honorable mention, and we're not going to talk about it real quick, is. So I just want to say, let me preface this by saying a lot of albums. If you go back to our series of album retrospectives, I would say that most of those albums are like Purple Rain, Synchronous.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
those
there's-
are records like you boom, you just go. There's like no problem.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I took from that list
Yeah,
as
I
well
mean, that's
because
a great-
but there's a reason
Bat
we
Out of
chose
Hell,
them.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah, no, they're like so. But I have one of my personal favorites is Archangels. By the way, I'm just gonna say
Oh,
that
yeah,
is a
yeah.
record. If you don't know, go listen to the whole thing. You'll love it. But this band came out as this is one of the early. I'm going to use this funny word. Post grunge bands. Okay, it's one of the first bands that were like, no, we're not grunge. It really wasn't grunge, but it wasn't like hip hop or like the
Glam.
real poppy glammy
None of
kind
that.
of what I mean. It had a very earthy kind of vibe, and this album is all about the songs. The instrumentation is absolutely perfect, and it really the band really kind of lays back on this album and lets Adam Duritz shine. Of course, it's August and Everything After by Counting Crows. Very subdued, and it really was. And like I could put their first 4 albums, by the way, on this list of because they're all that good. But when you get to the next record, then you hear the band really rock out. There's all kind of awesome guitar solos and things like that. But this record, man, it's like. It's just the songs, It's very much. And when they came out, people compared them to Van Morrison. They compared them to the band. They were obviously influenced by those guys. But their big hit off the record, of course, everybody in this. I would admit, if we want to talk about overplayed songs, Mr. Jones.
Well, yeah.
Is an overplayed song, of course. You know what I mean? And now everybody with an acoustic guitar sings it at the coffee house night. And stuff like that. But there were several singles released on the album. The cover depicts the lyrics to the song "August and Everything After," which is not on August and Everything After.
Huh.
They didn't release it. They just did not put it out on that album. Many years later, they put out a deluxe edition. They put the song on it, and they toured for a while doing the August and Everything After tour, where they played the whole album, and they would play the song then. But there's something that is so interesting and so inspiring about this project. Well, also produced by the amazing T-Bone Burnett, right?
The amazing.
He can do like no wrong. There's great movie soundtracks. Worked with a lot of famous people, but this, we talk about how Kiss are such great businessmen. We talk about that. But these guys, in Kiss fashion, I would put this in the category of that because this is so much insanely smart business thinking that because what happens to so many bands, right? They take the big record label advance, and then that advance is a loan
Right.
And like a very bad loan, because basically they don't just want you to pay it back; they want your soul. Okay. So what Counting Crows did was they saved their money.
Oh,
They
what
worked,
smart guys.
They worked day jobs, okay? Saved their money, hired T-Bone Burnett themselves, paid for the album themselves,
Huh.
okay? And they would not take one dime from the record label. When the album comes out, within about a year or so, they're all millionaires. They never have to do anything ever again if they don't want to. Freaking brilliant! Like that, more bands. And he taught. There's a what is it? Classic albums about this on VH1, where he talks about how like they'd seen so many of their buddies in LA at that time doing these records and like getting these great deals because record labels were really looking for new music at that time. Well, after Nirvana happened, they were like, we got to get the new thing. We got to get the new thing. We got to get the new thing. And so they were like going after every band. So it was a hot time to get signed. I had near misses in the 90s with being signed on a couple of different bands I was in. And, you know, I mean, we weren't that freaking great. It was just that, like, they were hungry for new music. And they saw so many bands take big advances, the Clarks, and be, like, in debt, sold, stamped, delivered, you know, for the rest of their life. Screwed. You know, they would have to go out and do tours where they just played their, you know, 3 hits from their first album and, you know, be schmucks or feel like schmucks, not be schmucks, but feel like schmucks or whatever. And they were like, we just weren't going to do that. So they hatched this plan to save their money, pay for the album themselves, and basically the rest was gravy. The record label got a little bit for distributing it and marketing it, but basically, since they had no advance, they were able to, like, leverage a lot for themselves. So that is something I think is really interesting. I think a lot of people don't realize about this album. And I'm not going to go through the tracks or whatever, but everyone's a winner. Although it is a little, it's one of those records to listen to when you're going through a breakup.
Right.
It's got that kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so like if you're going through a breakup, put this on right now. All right, that is my, and I felt like I talked for 20 minutes.
You didn't actually at all.
Okay, I felt like
It was more like 5 minutes.
Okay.
If that.
All right, guys. All right, so let's move on. Pittsburgh Kevin, do you have another one for us?
I
think
do.
you
I do. So my next pick is Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Ah, good.
No, I have the other one. Okay.
Okay, good.
ahead.
Did you hear me playing it earlier today?
No.
I'll turn it up next time.
Yeah.
Was
Anyway.
I home?
You were home.
Okay.
Yes.
I might have been
Yeah,
sleeping.
it's so loud. You could hear it at work. Lily.
No, I mean, he asked if I heard it. Maybe I wasn't there.
No,
I know, I'm kidding
I
you.
don't play my stuff very loud. All right, so Hysteria is the 4th studio album, released August 3rd, 1987. It's their best-selling album to date. It charted number 1 on both Billboard and the UK albums charts. Produced by Robert John, you know him as Mutt Lange. The title was thought up by Rick Allen, referring to his 1984 car accident, in
Yes.
which, of course, he lost his arm. Yes,
No.
yes. Sadly, last album to feature Steve Clark before his death. It took over 3 years to complete, mainly because of Rick's accident and things like that.
Oh, that was because of Mutt Lange trying to get the perfect drum sound.
Well,
but go
that
ahead.
too, and Mutt actually wanted to create a hard rock version of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh,
And
okay,
that-
I kind of see
Yeah,
that.
and that each track had a potential hit single. As a
I mean-
Well, and like that's similar to a record that I'm going to talk about later. But go ahead.
okay, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, and I was playing it today as I thought of it. I'm like, oh yeah, and every song that came on, I'm like,
You could leave it.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I
Fantastic.
would say I don't know every song on that album, but I would venture that like 2/3 that album to 3/4 of that album all got at least played on the radio.
on
Yeah.
the radio, yeah.
Yeah, even really.
And the ones that didn't, you're like, that could have been.
Could have been.
That could have been.
They just
Yeah,
didn't get around
it's
to
done so
marketing
well.
that one, right?
Yes.
Right. Good pick, Kevin.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank you
really
very
good. Thank you.
much.
And we're going to be announcing the winner of the Led Zeppelin box
Ooh,
set
nice.
in 2, 3, 6 minutes. Lily V6, what do you got?
I
Speaking
have-
of 6 minutes to the album and 6 minutes for Lily V6.
We need one more 6.
No.
666.
We're just short of the
Oh,
devil.
Wait.
What the hell is that thing?
It's a lightning bug.
It's
It's a lightning
bug.
bug. Don't.
I just batted it away. It's fine.
Anyway,
Don't hurt him.
the
Go ahead,
next
Lily,
song
I'm sorry.
on my list is Appetite for
That was
Destruction.
awesome.
Firefly.
the debut studio album by
yeah, okay,
Guns N'
all right,
Roses.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Appetite.
this one took a year to catch on. That everybody liked it, but once it did, it held that coveted #1 spot and went on to sell over 30 million copies. And it happened after the band had toured and received airplay with the singles "Welcome to the Jungle," "Paradise City," and "Sweet Child of Mine." It topped the Billboard 200 and became the best-selling debut album of all time, as well as the 11th best-selling album of all time in the United States. Singer Axl Rose said that many of the songs on the album were written while the band was performing on the LA club circuit, and a number of the songs that would be featured on later GNR albums were considered for Appetite for Destruction, like "Back Off Bitch," "You Could Be Mine,"
Whoa,
"November Rain."
language. Come on. It's
Really?
a family show.
Is it?
Bitch, "November Rain," and "Don't Cry." MTV and radio stations did not want to play "Welcome to the Jungle" video and song, but after several months of trying, Geffen's general manager managed to get MTV to play the video just once, and became the most requested video on MTV's network.
It's badass. The set riff is freaking good. It's one of the greatest riffs of all time.
That
Absolutely.
used to be mine and a friend's like getting ready to go out song.
All right,
That we would like put our makeup on and have our pregame drinks and that sort of thing. This is one I often put on the phone, iPod, whatever, for road trips because I don't have to change it, and the album's just packed
Nobody's
with great.
owned an iPod for about 12 years. Go ahead.
My iPod is on here. It's actually an iPod because it's an iPhone. Anyway, the album is just packed with tracks from start to finish. So good stuff. I sing them all too in the car because
Yeah.
I perform in the car.
She's
All
a
the
car
things.
performance artist.
Don't ask.
Oh, I'm asking.
I'm not telling.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll go and do one. Why don't I go ahead and do one?
Yeah.
I think I know Lily has this band on her list, but I picked a different record because these guys, their first album, their second album, their fourth album, and their fifth album are all albums that you could just chill. Actually, even their third album could. And they, this is one of those bands that like somebody said the Beatles' entire catalog, and this band is very much like the Beatles in the sense that like there's really not a lot of filler on Led Zeppelin albums.
Right.
Now, Coda has that long Bono's Mantra, which is like into some people on some of that. But that is a record that they released as a sort of almost like hidden tracks or like forgotten tracks, kind of album they did after John Bonham's passing away. But I think you could probably pick any Led Zeppelin album and put it on this list. But I picked Led Zeppelin 2. I remember buying this album. I went through a period of time where I album shopped at a little place here in Canonsburg where there was a record shop upstairs and there was a guitar shop and drum shop downstairs, and that was Guitar Gallery. And there were several albums that ended up becoming really, really important to me that I bought there, and Led Zeppelin 1 and Led Zeppelin 2 are two of those albums. Robert Plant was a little frustrated because they had to recorded this album in several different studios. It was recorded like all over the place. This wasn't like one of those like, we booked studio time and we went for 3 weeks and blah, blah, blah. No, it was here and there. Stuff on the run. There are tracks where they had a day off in between dates on a tour and they went in and recorded and things like that. So it was like they were really hustling. They were touring their first album and they were really like, let's get another record out because like the thing is really going. This record was recorded by the legend with the legendary Eddie Kramer as credited as a producer. But Eddie has come out and said that really the reason why that album sounds the way it does is because of Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
He says we recorded in all these crazy places. He says some of the studios were very bizarre, very weird. We recorded in all these places. He says, but the album sounds totally consistent. He says, I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Magic.
He says, it was Jimmy, just being so detailed about what he wanted. So like Eddie Kramer, who's like worked with Jimi Hendrix and like everybody, Bad Company, all kind of bands, is coming out and saying, "Nah, I got to kind of like give Jimmy Page." I mean, that's saying a lot about Jimmy Page. And it is a dynamite album. And one of the things I noticed we're not doing with this, and maybe we should, is just give a quick track listing.
Oh, I have all those.
So, Whole Lot of Love. I mean, Whole Lot of Love. They closed every show with this for like their entire after this album came out till they stopped playing. What Is and What Should Never Be, written by Robert Plant, and a beautiful song, insanely good song. The Lemon Song. Who doesn't love the Lemon Song? Thank You. Side 2 opens with Heartbreaker and then Live and Love and Made. Ramble On.
I love that song.
Amazing. Moby Dick, which is an instrumental, but that gets played on the radio. And it closes with the Bonham, Dixon, Jones, Plant, Page song, Bring It On Home. It is a sort of take on the old Willie Dixon song, Bring It On Home. So it is... we know all the songs. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't put that on record. Right. Interesting footnote: cassette tape release has Heartbreaker ending the first side and Thank You starting the second side. So we were talking about albums before, and they had so much time. Well, cassettes were even worse.
Yeah.
So sometimes the album, like, they had to rearrange the tracks to make it all work.
That sucks.
Interesting stuff. So we did a Led Zeppelin. Speaking of Led Zeppelin. I didn't even realize I was going to do that.
You segued so good.
I thought you did it on purpose. Wow.
So this is one of the albums. This is the album with Stairway to Heaven on it, Zozo, Led Zeppelin 4, Led Zeppelin 3. We have here, and these are brand new, guys. These are new, so you're not getting any kind of garbage or anything. This is the record that, started freaking everything. Good Times, Bad Times. It's the first song that people ever heard by Led Zeppelin. But, how do you decide what's going to be the song that's going to introduce the world to Led Zeppelin? It's amazing. And, of course, the record I was just talking about, Led Zeppelin 2, which has got this amazing artwork. And if we had more time, I would get into the whole thing. Maybe we can do a classic album on Led Zeppelin 2. I don't think anybody here would argue with doing that. Yeah. But it's the first 4 albums from Led Zeppelin. And... we are right now going to go ahead and pick the winner.
Well, Lou.
Yes.
I don't know if the people know how we went about picking the winner. It was very. How many different? There were
we
like
had 455 people enter.
How do you pick a winner from that? Well, let me tell you, Lou.
Okay.
Your crack staff went through many algorithms. They checked people's love for rock and roll, their knowledge of music.
You have to get a blood sample too.
Blood sample, and in the end, they picked the winner as the chick with the biggest tits.
So these are mine. Thank you.
Lily gets them, and good night. Okay, so we're gonna use a random number generator right now.
Do it.
And
cool.
We're going to put, okay. So we have 455. I'm going to hit generate. That isn't Kevin doing that sound. That is actually a real random number generator that we have in here. This thing is heavy, man. Whew. We need a bigger studio for this. So the winner is, oh God, not this guy. He can't get it.
Is it me?
All the way to the left.
I'm going to go all the way to the left here. We have all the names here. So this guy is Nicholas. I know somebody's name I can't pronounce. Thank you.
Surachak.
Surotchak. Nicholas Surachak.
You are the winner.
Nicholas.
You're the winner. So congratulations, my friend.
Nice.
We I do appreciate you participating in the contest. There's a new contest coming for new fans soon, and we're going to be doing some contests internally as well, where you get to win some cool Loudini swag and a few other things. But guys, thanks for hanging out with that. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.com, LouLombardiMusic.com. Get you a couple of different things. Shout out to Wolf's Customs at wolfscustoms.online. And don't forget to download the app at rockrageradio.com. Now, I'm not saying all that because we are done. I'm saying that because we are moving on to getting back to talking about albums that are, for all intents and purposes, perfect. So, thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, brother. We do appreciate it. Okay.
All right.
So,
and that's that.
Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Now, I know.
I didn't.
You did.
My
Anyway.
God.
going to get T-shirts made up.
Drink.
I know for a fact that Lily does not have this. Hold on, I have to drink too.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Very good. I know for a fact that Lily does not have this album on her list. You know why, Lily?
I already know why.
Can
See?
I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Moving Pictures.
No!
No?
Tell him what he wins, Johnny. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is it. Okay.
It is that, yeah. So, Moving Pictures by the band Rush. It's their eighth.
Not a fan. Just kidding.
I'm not.
I'm going to come right over here and punch you right in the throat.
No, I love it.
I
You
know.
I love it.
It's their eighth studio album, recorded in Le Studio.
But was it recorded in Dublin?
No, it was no Dublin. He means Dolby. Anyway,
Hal, when you do the audiogram for this week, dude, I think you can have like a lot to pick from, buddy.
there you go.
Go ahead.
All right. Recording in Le Studio in Morin Heights, Quebec, October and November of 1980. Released February 12th, 1981.
I was not born.
That's why you don't like it.
Is that
You
why?
don't remember it coming out.
Oh, man, I remember this record big time.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So after the radio airplay of Permanent Waves, Rush and co-producer Terry Brown focused on writing more radio format-friendly songs, featuring a tighter song structure and shorter length. So, and it worked apparently. Tom Sawyer, of course, the opening track is the quintessential Rush song. I mean, I was aware of Rush. You know, you heard their stuff, but
Yeah.
boy, when that hit the airwaves.
That's like, oh, you want to hear some Rush? You put that on. You know,
Yeah.
if somebody doesn't know what Rush is, you know, just play that. That's like everything they've ever done in one song.
In one song,
It's-
yeah.
it's
got
really- it's a
everything in
masterpiece.
it. There you go.
I said master. Go ahead.
You are the master of. Anyway,
Peace.
yeah, that's it. So I didn't know this. YYZ was actually nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental Performance. Did you know that?
I knew that.
I learned that, yes.
Just now?
Yes, as you said it. No,
Thank
I have this on my list too, so I researched it, so I picked up a few tidbits.
Yes. So now this next part will interest you and I. So this is the very first song that Geddy used his 1972 Fender Jazz bass on, replacing the Rickenbacker because the Rickenbacker just didn't have a low enough bottom end. So there you go.
Big Bottom. Oh, that song
The
is
big
not on that album.
butt
It's a
didn't
big-
hang low.
It didn't hang low. But yeah, it's another one of those ones where I can just put it on, listen to it the entire way through, not have to skip through any songs.
I just get mad when I put that on.
And you know what? You know what, Lily? That's okay.
I know.
We understand.
I have, when we're done, guys, I have some podcast ideas that I want to run by you.
Oh,
that involve more of like, more
Midgets?
about our personal like opinions about it.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk about
Oh,
this. We'll talk
boy.
about this later. We have some. I'm cooking
Oh,
on some
my.
ideas, guys. I think
Hey,
you're
now.
gonna like coming up in the future. But what do you got, Miss Lilith?
I'm going to go a little heavier. I'm going to say
Iron Maiden.
vulgar display of power.
Okay, I knew you were
Oh,
gonna be some metal
my.
thing. Good. Awesome.
I
No,
got to appease
that's
those
great.
peeps. Sixth studio album by American heavy metal band Pantera came out in 1992, so obviously I remember when this one came out. It was the band's second collaboration with producer Terry Date after having previously worked with him on their breakthrough album Cowboys from Hell. The album was well received by both critics and fans and is Pantera's highest selling album to date and would eventually be certified double platinum. It's often considered one of the most influential heavy metal albums of the 90s. In 2017, Rolling Stone ranked Vulgar Display of Power as something 10th on their list of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Several of its tracks have become among the band's best known, such as Mouth for War, A New Level, Walk, I'm going to swear, Fucking Hostile, and This Love. Drummer Vinnie Paul said that Cowboys from Hell was really close to the definitive Pantera sound. Vulgar Display of Power received critical acclaim upon release. Many critics have praised Daryl's guitar work on the album and use of heavy riffs and tone to set the tone for the album. Reviewers also pointed out that the change in Anselmo's vocals from previous releases with him using deeper growls and powerful vocals to accompany the catchy riffs and aggressive lyrics, because they did sort of used to be a glam metal band before they changed to this real heavy sound. They peaked at this album peaked at number 44 on the Billboard. Spent a total of 79 weeks on the chart, the most weeks any Pantera album has spent on the chart, and has been listed as one of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. And I agree.
Wow, good picks. Good picks, everybody. Earlier, Kevin was talking about an album by Def Leppard, Hysteria, where the idea was, could every song be a single, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a band that actually did this, and every song made the radio. Every single song on this album
Oh yeah, I knew that.
this was unheard of for this to happen. And this record is so interesting. We might have to go back and do a classic albums on this. It is the debut by Boston.
Oh, man, yes.
And every song is like, you know. And you don't just, it's not like you heard them once. It's,
You hear them all the time.
you hear them all the time. More than a freaking feeling. Peace of Mind, not the Iron Maiden song. Foreplay, Long Time, Rock and Roll Band, Smoke and Hitch a Ride, Something About You, Let Me Take You Home Tonight. These are all songs that you all know. Tom Scholz is the sort of mastermind behind Boston, not the city, the band.
The
and
city
album.
too. Don't even lie.
But he was produced. This album was produced by Tom Scholz and a guy named John Boylan. What Scholz basically did was he used Boylan to distract the record label because he did not want to record in California. He wanted to do the entire album in his studio with his friend Brad Delp singing, and that's what he wanted to do. So he had Boylan running kind of interference and making the record label think they were in L.A. somewhere recording. Almost all of it was recorded in Tom Scholz's home studio. He plays the whole album except for Brad Delp singing.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This is like the Foo Fighters before the Foo Fighters.
Right.
Okay. People do not like the song "Rock and Roll Band." You would practice right out onto the streets. We were just another band from Boston. None of that is true.
BS.
That's all just fantasy.
All
But
made
that's
up.
great songwriting, right? I mean, like Joe Strummer said one time, the best cowboy songs are written by a Jew from New York. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's that like fantasizing about something that like kind of makes something really, really awesome.
Great storytelling.
Scholz, because he had built so much of his own equipment and everything, this is like kind of how the Boston sound happened. I mean, this is like, kids in their bedroom making albums like they're doing now, but this was in the 70s when it was really freaking hard.
Yes.
Really expensive and really hard, and you had to be really, really smart. There was no YouTube video to show you how to do it.
YouTube.
So I mean, it's really, this is an amazing album. If not for that, but I mean, we're talking about listenability, but still, this is a amazing a feat that they accomplished. And of course, the album sold 800 million, whatever.
Yes.
To everybody. There's nobody that doesn't
Lily
know.
has 3. She has 3 copies.
There is,
I do have one.
Lily's the one who's stacking the deck for this band. I'm just kidding. And there isn't anybody here that does not know More Than a Feeling. It was on a VH1 list of most overplayed songs. At one point.
It's in movies. It's in commercials.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's absolutely everywhere.
Video games.
Yeah, and then Tom Scholz went on to do all kinds of things. He worked for Kodak and developed the Kodak disc camera. He went on to create all kind of in the guitar world, all kind of guitar equipment that guitar players, had to have. In the 80s, you just had to have it.
When you mentioned that, one of the things,
my Rockman is sitting right there.
your Rockman's sitting right here, but Mutt had them use Rockmans on Hysteria, so if you listen to the guitar tone, you can hear it. Yeah.
Well, there you are. So somebody must have been thinking about this album time. But yeah, Boston, by Boston, and released in 1976, our country's bicentennial. God bless America. All right, Pittsburgh, Kevin, and our firefly.
There's the Firefly.
Flying.
There's Mother Firefly.
He's a flying.
Knock,
We
knock.
have a firefly.
Yeah, Firefly.
Lily's
My next
terrified.
album.
I don't like bugs.
They like you though.
I
They
don't
told me.
like bugs, and
They
I just
told
sorry.
me. My next album is ABBA Arrival. I'm just kidding.
It might be. I haven't heard that album.
No,
You might
no,
love every
it probably
song
is.
on
I
it.
don't know. I'm just kidding. All right.
I mean,
I'm-
like a record that wouldn't make our list because we're rockers would be the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever.
I
Of
mean-
course.
Oh.
Of course. Like, I'm not like,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, we're not going to get into that, but I'm just saying, like, that's you have to give the devil his due. Like, every song that's great.
Exactly.
But go ahead. What do you
No,
got?
I'm done.
Do you have another one?
No, I told you I only had 3.
Oh,
He's
okay.
done.
Wow.
Well, let me read some things anyway.
Read
Okay.
some
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Come on,
Read
Lily.
some things. Lily's reading some things.
Michael Gold says Hysteria was an amazing album.
Yes.
Bill Damiano coming in late, but I love Hysteria. I don't know what albums you guys have mentioned so far, but for me, Kiss Destroyer would be on my list.
Who said that?
Damiano.
Oh, Damiano.
Todd Kane, Let's Go with Foghat, Fool for the City.
Mm.
And Bill Damiano, I got a cool Loudini hat that I've been wearing on my show.
Thank you.
Someone agrees with me on Rush Socks. This one, Bill Damiano. Again, this one might get mixed reactions, but Metallica Black would be on my list too.
You know, I had that on my list. I just, like, I was thinking about it this week. I'm like, that's an album that definitely needs to be on. We don't need to talk about that, but that is definitely an album that every song is great. I'm sorry, metalheads. Sorry, Metallica broke your heart, but go ahead. What do you got, Lily?
Anyway, since you talked about it, I have it on my list anyway. Bad Out of Hell, Meatloaf. 1977 debut album by American rock singer Meatloaf and composer Jim Steinman, also produced by Todd Rundgren. It was developed from a musical Neverland, a futuristic rock version of Peter Pan, which Steinman wrote for a workshop in 1974. It has also spawned 2 sequels. I don't care what they are. Bad Out of Hell is one of the best-selling albums of all time, having sold over 50 million copies worldwide.
50 million?
Yes.
They sold 50 million copies. That's crazy.
Certified 14 times platinum. It's full of energy throughout, and it's just an epic album all around. Response to the album was slow. Todd Rundgren asserts that it was under-promoted, having a reputation of being damaged goods. Because it had been walked around to so many places. They tried forever to sell this album.
Yeah, and people didn't get it because Steinman had written, like, musicals.
Yeah.
So they were very leery about this guy. Like, what the hell does he know about pop
Like,
music?
what is this?
Yeah.
Like, who does he think he is? Yeah. Due to the enthusiastic response to the music videos from the record, Australian and British audiences were the first to develop interest. Meanwhile, in North America, according to Billboard magazine, Popovich and his partners began promoting the album aggressively in Omaha, Nebraska, of all places, Cleveland, and New York. Reviews were initially mixed, but have since become more positive. As we all know, it's one of the greatest albums. On release, Dave Marsh's review in Rolling Stone called the song swell, but entirely mannered and derivative, and noted that that the arrangements aren't bad, and commended the musicians. He concluded by noting that the principals have some growing to do. So he just needs smacked around a little bit. He's also from Rolling Stone, so there's that. But the tracks are Bad Out of Hell. You took the words right out of my mouth. Heaven Can Wait. All Revved Up with No Place to Go. 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad. Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which we all know I love to sing at karaoke if I'm drunk enough, and For Crying Out Loud. So, real short album as far as songs go, but it's a long album because the songs are long. Epic storytelling.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody out there tell me, but there's the thing called false memory syndrome. So this might be a false memory.
Okay.
But I've watched several different documentaries about Meatloaf and about the making of this album, and I believe that Jim Steinman tells a story that on Paradise by the Dashboard Light, or no, Bad Out of Hell with the revving, that they needed that sound. He's like, we got to have that sound. So Todd Rundgren, like, got frustrated and went in and played the guitar. And he says, "Oh, you mean like this?" And he started like
I heard that
doing
too.
something on the guitar, like with a whammy bar or something. And like, that's it.
I heard that too. Is it true? Who knows? But I heard that too.
There you go.
Things
It's
that
one
make
of those things.
things that make you go And that album is not on the list, by the way.
It is not
No
on the
delight.
list? Come on.
Come now. I said. Okay. I'm gonna pick one that is. Should I go with something? Or what time is it? Let me tell how much time we got left. Oh, we're getting low. So I'm gonna.
12 minutes.
I was gonna pick one that maybe our audience, may or may not like. But what I'll do is I will do. I did a '90s album. Let's go old school here.
Okay.
Let.
Old school.
Do you have this on your list?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll let
But
you do
you
that.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna do
I
this.
still have a bunch, so go ahead.
And then what we'll do is I'll just run down the ones that we didn't get a chance to talk about real quick. I'll just say blah, 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 blah. No, I'll actually say the names. I won't say blah, blah, blah,
We're
blah,
gonna
blah.
say
good,
that.
because that would
But I will
confuse
actually
people.
say the name. Yeah, we wouldn't want
What?
we wouldn't want to
I
confuse.
had that one. That was
We
good.
wouldn't want to confuse anybody out there in the audience. So this is, of course, everybody, first thing you learn on guitar. Smoke on the Water. This is the album Smoke on the Water, Machine Head by The Purple.
The
The Purple
Did you
people.
say the purple?
Purple.
Yes. The Purple people.
I almost put this on my list.
This is such. I almost had myself a heart attack when I'm going. I had to Smoke on the Water is on Machine Head, isn't it? I had like a
You're like, wait.
boom, 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 like. Who's the biggest idiot in podcasting? Loudini.
I find myself doing that all the time when we start. I'm like, wait a minute, did I screw that up?
But they had been touring on 71. They've been touring for 2 years and had a couple other studio albums out, and they didn't feel like their first record sounded as good as their live performances. And they had done a record like with with the London Symphony Orchestra or something. They had screwed around and stuff like that. But the group toured for the UK September to October 71 and previewed some of the new material that they were thinking about releasing that was going to become Machine Head. And what ended up happening is they ended up using a mobile recording rig. And they were going to do it at the Montreux Casino. But
I knew this.
some stupid with a flare gun burnt the place to the ground.
To the ground? It was you.
This song, Smoke on the Water, is about the Montreux Casino catching on fire. And the song is a true story. You know, Funky Claude pulling kids out onto the ground. You know, all that stuff actually happened. But they ended up going to an abandoned motel or hotel rather, and recording the album with the Rolling Stones recording mode that a lot of people use. The Who used it like it was like the Stones, man. They were good business people too, man. They had to make money. You know, they knew how to make some money. But it is. Let me give you some of the tracks on it. Again, this could be right up there with the Boston album, Highway Star.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's one maybe you don't know as well, but it's still a very cool song. Maybe I'm a Leo. Pictures of Home, Never Before, Smoke on the Water, Lazy, and ends with Space Truckin', come on. So, yeah, it's just front to back. The band is on freaking fire. It's like kind of them, like they're like ultimate. You know, yes, the records that with Glenn Hughes and stuff are really great too, but this is a kind of like. You know, this is their what? This is their Sgt. Pepper's. This is their Metallica Black album. You know what I mean? This is the record that, like, you know, people are just going to come back to and just want to rock out to. All the other records are great, but this is really the one where it's
definitive.
Just, yes. So, yeah, like it's one of those, if aliens land, they said to you, what does Deep Purple sound like? You would play them this record.
There you go.
Okay, so let's go, Lily. I know that we can't get to everybody, so maybe just do a quick rundown of the ones you didn't get to, just to kind of give people a.
Sure. So Van Halen.
Me too.
1977. It has some of the best well-known songs. Running with the Devil, Ain't Talking About Love, Jamie's Crying. You Really Got Me, which is the cover of the Kinks, and the 1 minute 42-second Eddie Van Halen instrumental Eruption, one of the best electric guitar solos of all time. Let's just face it. So. That whole thing is good for me. I don't know about you. The Doors, 1967. Light My Fire. It's in 2015. The Library of Congress selected The Doors for inclusion in the National Recording Registry. Break On Through, Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship, 20th Century Fox. I mean, that goes on and on and on. This is one of the ones I used to listen to like right after school. I'd go in my room, just turn all the lights off, and just listen to it because I wasn't doing drugs, but.
Wished you were.
Kind of wished I was.
Maybe this is what it's like to do drugs.
Dio, Holy Diver, 1983.
Yeah, good one.
He just finished his 10-year in Black Sabbath, Dio did, and decided it was time to form his own band. He's pretty well known being in Sabbath and Rainbow and all that stuff, so doing his own thing would have always worked. He followed the fantasy thing with Lord of the Rings. They were super popular then, Dungeons and Dragons, the whole thing. Much of the heavy metal took place on similar turf. A Realm of Dark Towers is what Dio says to that one. Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Gypsy, Caught in the Middle, Don't Talk to Strangers, Straight Through the Heart, Invisible, Rainbow in the Dark, and Shame on the Night. Again, I could play all those songs. I put an Iron Maiden one on here, of course, The Number of the Beast for me, 1982. People would disagree. Some people said, God, and now my brain's broken. Help me, quick.
Bruce Dickinson. What?
No, the name of the other albums, I can't think right now. Sorry.
Number of the Beast?
No, the other one.
Number of the Beast.
The other one.
Time.
Never mind. This was the first to feature.
We're no help.
That one. Thank you, Seventh Son. Some people argue that that's the best one. I have to disagree. This is the first to feature vocalist Bruce Dickinson, and their last with Clive Burr. Met with critical and commercial success. I mean, Bruce Dickinson's voice.
Yeah, Bruce Dickinson. 2 words, Bruce. Dickinson.
Led Zeppelin 4. I didn't say it because you did Zeppelin 2, but again, Black Dog, Rock and Roll, The Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Heaven, Misty
Stairway to
Mountain Hall.
Heaven. End of story.
Well, that's the song that defines Led Zeppelin. Four Sticks Going to California and When the Levee Breaks. Pyromania, Def Leppard, 1983. Yeah. It is the one before the sappy one that Kevin talked about. But Hysteria, I think, is better, but I like this one.
Well, I thought about both of them because both of them I can listen to.
Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love, Die Hard, The Hunter, Fool, and Rock of Ages, Coming on Fire, Action, How Words, Billy's Got a Gun. Rock of Ages, it's a great song. We all know why.
I want to change my vote. I like that one better.
You like that one better. You're done.
It is.
No changes.
No take backs.
No changes.
And that's my list.
Okay, and real quick, just a couple that, of course, I had Dark Side of the Moon on my list. I had Dirt by Alice in Chains.
I figured you
front
would.
To back, Pornograffiti by Extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Can't argue with that. I had Van Halen 1 as well. I had Moving Pictures as well. A couple I didn't mention. Born to Run by Springsteen. No way. You can't deny it. It's front to back. It's a masterpiece. Here's one. Michael Goltz, An Innocent Man by Billy Joel.
Oh.
Absolutely perfect. It's he had just gotten divorced from his wife and was dating supermodels. He said, I felt like I did when I was a teenager. So I made a record with the music that I loved from the 50s. And that record has, Leave a Tender Moment Alone, Tell Her About It, all those kind of Christy Lee, which ended up being about so anyways, his next wife. So that's on mine. And and I had, of course, this is kind of cliche, a lot of people had this Dark Side of the Moon.
It's great, though.
That's
a great one.
It's a total masterpiece. 957 weeks on the charts.
With good reason.
Yeah, and it was one of those records that they might go off the charts for a little bit and would come back on.
Yeah.
Like people would, no, we can't forget about Dark Side of the Moon. It was like people like Lily buying it 40 and 50 times.
Well, you know what? When you play them over and over again and break them, you can't help it.
But,
I also have 3 copies of 9 Lives by Aerosmith, too, so there's that.
Well,
there you go. Okay, guys, thank you. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We're going to, I think we got to, let's see if there's any birthday shout-outs we need to
What did the Beatles do today?
I know, right.
Something, I'm sure.
On this day in 1961, Del Shannon was at #1 on the UK singles charts with Runaway.
Runaway.
It's a great song.
There you go.
Right there.
Great jam.
Me and
Great
Del
jam.
was singing Little Runaway.
Little Ava was born this day in 1945.
Wow.
Ian Pace, speaking of the Purple, drummer for Deep Purple, born this day in 1948. Colin Hay, I come from London under. Robert Forrester, no. I was thinking about the actor Robert Forrester. What the hell? So, anybody else that we need to talk about? No.
We don't care about those people.
Thank you.
No. Keith Richards was found guilty this day. Allowing his house to be used for illegal smoking of cannabis. No.
Wow.
No, Leo Keith. That was an actual charge that was brought against somebody in 1967.
That's wonderful.
You were using your house for the illegal smoking of cannabis. What the hell, guys? Come on. That's not right.
It's just a different time, isn't it?
That's jacked up.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Right.
People talk today about how they feel oppressed and stuff. Come on, calm down.
Come on.
That was crazy, stupid, dumb. All right, that blew my mind. I don't even know how to end the podcast now. Go to wolfscustoms.online, rockrageradio.com. Download the app. And speaking of Rock Rage Radio, really.
I have a show called Hot Licks with Lily 6, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, Rock Rage Radio. Download the app for free on your phone or just go to rockrageradio.com. And I will be at Living Dead Weekend on Sunday. I'm going to be on the 3 o'clock panel talking about the Steel Man movie. So come see me there. It's at the Monroeville Mall.
Monroeville.
Yeah.
Monroeville. Okay, thank you, Lily. Our websites are LoudiniRockAndRollCircus.com. Got a brand new website up there with bios and the whole thing. As well as go to LouLombardiMusic.com. If you want to get copies of some records that I've released, you get some free downloads, as well as the song that I'm going to close with. the backstory of it and why I wrote it and what it's all about, you can check that out at LouLombardiMusic.com. Pittsburgh Kevin, any parting thoughts?
Yeah. This Sunday, I want to announce this Sunday, early in the morning, this coming Sunday.
Yes.
I will be sleeping in. So, looking forward to that, everybody. I'm looking forward
Guys,
to
have a great week, and we'll catch you all on the next. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that.
Hold on.
No. Let's give one more shout out to our winner,
that. Yes.
Yes.
Nicholas
Surachek.
Surachek.
That's
And
what we're
shout out
saying.
to our,
Jackie.
yes.
He's not
Sorry,
good
we
with
suck.
names.
We're sorry we're bad with names. We don't talk for a living. You know? Guys, we love you. We'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That's wrong.
That's no.
Guys, we love you. We'll
Do it
catch you
again.
all
Do it again.
in 3, 2, 1. We love you, and we'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Creeping round the valley floor, I hear the cry of another people. Take my hand and walk through this door. I'm gonna